Hello, welcome to episode 18 of HCG. And as per usual, you're going to have to sit and listen to me for the next hour or so. Me being Craig, and also
Me being Mike.
me. So there's two me's.
Yeah. One called Craig, one called Mike.
Right. Right.
It's all good. It's all good. How are things?
Not bad. Not bad at all. Busy week. Busy week at work. Busy week gaming. It certainly has been.
That's good.
Yeah. Certainly has been a bit of a weird week, I would say. Yourself, have you been up to much?
No, kind of the same actually, to be fair. Managed to fit. I feel like I've had less time to game yet. Or I've intentionally give myself less time to game. Yeah, I feel like I've actually probably gamed quite a bit. So
Yeah, there just seems to be a lot of obviously new
games
releases
out.
over the last couple of weeks. Like,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even like I'm not talking little shitty ones. We're talking like AAA. These top titles that we've probably been waiting for. And
Yeah. Yeah. Much of a need to play rather than anything else.
yeah, it's just been a absolute pain in the ass trying to get time to do it all. But hey, we make time where we can.
Indeed. Indeed.
So do we just let's just jump straight in it then if you want.
There's lots to talk about. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's get this
Some good
episode underway.
topics. Where we're going to start? What out of the topics we have on choice? Where would you like to start?
Right. So um, let's go on. Obviously, the release of Battlefield has been.
Yep,
Release of Battlefield officially is today.
it's today, indeed.
Today being
Yep,
the 19th. Now,
yep.
obviously, as you know, it's today, but pretty much majority of people have had access to this now the past week. Whether that be via Game Pass Ultimate or whether that is just via other means of
Via
either
pre-ordering.
pre-order or um, yourself, Mike. You went and bought EA Access Pro. Is that how it's
EA
called?
Play Pro.
EA Play Pro. Used to be called EA Access, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we,
So
we can move on to that topic because I felt like it was an interesting one, or
yeah,
enough
but
of an interesting one.
let's have our highs and lows. I think of Battlefield first, and then I want to have a quick chat to you about EA Play, see what you think. Um, so basically, I want to start off by saying the game. I do like the game. The game is quite a good game. There
Mhm,
is a lot of issues in the game.
mhm.
Not game breaking issues, I suppose. Still, the game is still fun. I'm still enjoying it. And to be fair, it's even though I've been on the 10-hour trial on EA, it's probably the longest I've played a Battlefield on upon release. I think
Fair
previous
enough. Fair
Battlefields,
enough.
I've probably kind of just gone. I'm sick of running frigging for miles and then getting killed. I do feel as though this one's it feels a little bit more well balanced. Maybe there's more cover and I don't get sniped as much.
Um, I probably have a reason for it.
Oh, man with reason.
Um, yeah, there's been some talks about the fact that they don't. A lot of people are suspecting that Battlefield 2042 was not meant to be released as a Battlefield full title. It was
Right.
meant to be a Battlefield Royal Battle game.
Battle Royale.
Sorry, Battle Royale game.
Yeah.
Um, and that they've decided against it and adapted it, right? And I'm going to question you on some things here, right?
Okay.
And
I'll just
I
mute
want
my
your
camera. Sorry.
opinion.
Just while. Go on.
That's all right. And I want your opinion on this, right?
Yeah.
Like explain to me some of this stuff from your opinion, and then we'll see what we come to at the end. So basically, every battlefield, pretty much every battlefield, has launched with specific game features
Right.
that are not in the current battlefield. They're not in 2042.
Right. Okay.
Oh, we got my little Caitlin joining in the conversation. She's upset at it of too. Right. So, explain to me, why does Battlefield 2042 not have? These are just core features, but I have an extensive list. I'm just going to core features
Yeah.
first.
Just gotta say, keep
Right.
it.
Yeah. Right.
Slim.
You ready?
Yeah.
Right. No single player story or campaign mode
Yeah.
for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Right. There's no server browser, which on Xbox that's not a big thing, but on PC that was a big thing.
Right.
Um, Fewer standardized game modes, although there's Portal, but there's no other game modes we used to have, like Team Deathmatch or small scale battles. All of them have just gone.
Right.
They're just not there. I know there's others, like other slight ones, new ones, but where's all the old ones gone? Why did they remove them? No persistent lobbies. This is an interesting one. So unless you're in a party, regardless of a party, you can join a game, you play the game, you play that map,
Yeah.
and then you get kicked back out and have to re-find a new game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas on every other Battlefield, it just moved on to the next map
Yeah.
with the same people you were playing with. Like, why does it do that? Right? That mechanic always happens in Battle Royale games.
Right. Okay.
You always get kicked back out, right? There's no like hardly any in-game assignments. There used to be loads. There's no class system, really.
See, I prefer that. That's a bit of
I know you
positive for me.
prefer the way they've done it, and
Yeah.
I get that. But they've basically have removed the class system and give us more of a system that's relatable to Battle Royale games than it is
Or
Battlefield games.
Or Call of Duty.
Well, yeah, there you go, right? There's hardly any character customization options. There's no profile progress, status page in the menu. There's no battle logs, status tracks for other players. No global leaderboards, no dog tags, no custom emblems, no cross-game profile screens, which we
Leaderboards.
used to have before.
Yeah.
No spectator mode, no permanent community servers. Would be useful for clans and clans events. There's none of that. No central US servers, and no test range. Right? And one of the other things that's missing off that thing is that the maps are huge for even 130 odd players playing them.
Yeah.
Like
So,
if you compare them against another map, they're actually way too big
yeah.
for the amount of players that are on them, which would suggest it's more like a Battle Royale map size than it is a standard Battlefield size.
Yeah. See, so I quite like the size of it because you when you're fighting,
Yeah.
you are in that. I suppose it's like the battle royale. You're only fighting like kind of one on one
Like,
sometimes, or
you're
team.
only fighting the stuff that's near you.
Yeah,
It's not so
you're not.
bad.
Yeah.
You're not getting rocketed from the guy in the or
Although
sniped from the guy at the other side of the map. Right? Which
going
is
back
cool.
to the last game that me and you played, when we remember when we were defending that I can't remember the map, what the map was called, and we hid between the tanks and kept reviving each other, and yeah, that was pretty cool. But that was a full-on gunfight, like a dogfight in itself.
Yeah. So, and I'm gonna. If this is in a slightly other category, but I'm just gonna throw this one in there, right? Some of these one in here because I can't believe some of them when you hear them like this. So fewer guns.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you take all the guns that are in 2042 and take every single gun that's available in every mode of Portal,
yeah,
the Portal mode, there's still less guns than Battlefield 4.
Yeah, so this is where basically my laws in the game is there's a lot less guns. I feel as though there's a lot less maps in the game. I don't feel as though the rotation of maps is maybe there's more. Maybe the rotation of maps is not very frequent. I don't know. I just don't feel like there's many different maps.
They always
Um,
they always brought in like new maps, but they always kept some of the old fan favorite maps.
so yeah, so
You just bin them
looking
all.
looking at this, right? I don't know whether they're going to do this, but I feel as though they're doing a kind of um, like Halo, maybe Halo Infinite type thing, which is what I'm going to come on to soon, where they're going to release some sort of seasonal or battle pass or season pass thing, where you're going to get more maps, you're going to get more. Maybe it's the holding stuff and the holding stuff waiting to release it, but put it behind a frigging paywall. There's either that, or another way of looking at it is how do you please your fans and keep the player base going? Well, I know we'll take a couple of these maps out, take a few of the guns out, and then do you know what we'll do? We'll 3 months down the line, yeah, we'll release them, and we'll release them in stages to try and bring players back to try and keep things going.
I don't quite understand it.
I don't think it's
I
right.
generally don't quite understand what's going on, and I know that it'll lead on to a topic that we'll get to later on, which is about games being released, not finished.
Yeah,
But you know, have you ever played a Battlefield game? Like, bearing in mind that Battlefield 2042 is meant to be set slightly in the future, right? 42, yeah.
mm-hmm.
But the only thing that I can see that's futuristic is the fact that we have C5 instead of C4, right? But other than that,
I
there's
didn't even
no
notice that.
right. There's and it's still it doesn't even look like C5. It looks like dynamite. Um, there's no slightly futuristic things, right? You would think you'd have more choice and more guns and more interesting, not crazily stuff,
Yeah, so
but some slightly better things in it,
like
and you just don't have them.
I feel as though they've done something as well where they've fucked around with the game a little bit too much, and they brought this stupid fucking tornado that comes in and done all things like that and made that look really nice. There's parts of this game that just look amazing. Um,
I don't think they had the time.
but
I think
yeah,
there's some there either
it's possibly time, and I also think it's possibly that you've spent. The problem being is you spent far too much time trying to make this game look fucking amazing with this crazy tornado and all these different visual effects and this, that, and the other. It's now become kind of like, what the fucking hell?
I
What?
personally think I think that this was not necessarily going to be a full-fledged game, right? Because it has too many mechanics in it that lend itself to battle royale. I feel like COVID and other things have probably took a hit on the amount of time they can spend and how much money they can put into it, right? Because lots of people are revamping old games and stuff. They kind of did with Portal a little bit, and yeah, well, basically not having the time, right? Oh, and that it's next gen.
Yeah.
So you're trying to make something for next gen with not having enough time to do so. And the development of that and issues that could come with that, I could imagine were probably pretty high. But
But that's where
I just
Hazard Zone, right? Although we need somebody to tell us how to fucking play that game properly. But although
yeah
Hazard Zone is it is very much battle royale in a sense, because you go in, you've all got one life, you can
yeah
revive each
yeah
other,
yeah yeah.
you can call each other back in. Instead of it being a circle, you
So
pushing you in.
what happens
You
if
have the
this whole
target.
what happens if Battlefield 2042 was meant to launch as Hazard Zone battle royale mode esque
Yeah,
and Portal, so you could play the other stuff, and that's the game they were going for. Possibly because they didn't have enough time to put out a full game. That's just the approach they went for, because Call of Duty's battle royale game does well and other stuff like that. But you can't deny some stuff. Like every game developer in the world, right, is going to take normally. Now we're talking next gen, so there's an issue because once you move to next gen, then you have to use different dev kits and everything else. So you do maybe have to rewrite code, right? But normally, if you have game A and then you're going to make game B, you're going to pinch a lot of the stuff from game A.
yeah.
and put it in that game, even if it's the same, you know, shooting someone or putting a mine down or whatever is the same mechanic, but you're just going to adapt it for the new style, put a new skin on it, whatever. It's the same thing, but it just looks different, right? Battlefield genuinely just doesn't have some mechanics that were in other games. Therefore, they haven't ported anything over. So they either intended them to not be there in the first place, or they couldn't because they just didn't have the time or the resources to do it, and they thought they'd get away with it.
Yeah.
But I can't. Have you ever played a Battlefield game where you can't put a mine down?
No.
Battlefield 42.
There is landmines on there, isn't it? There's
Nope.
tank. I thought there's anti-tank mine things.
Nope.
I'm sure there is.
Nope.
Unless that was on the portal when I was playing. There definitely is
Maybe on
mines
the
on there
portal.
somewhere.
It's not on the other one. There's no manual leaning, no diving while swimming, which I never did, but you could do that. No crouch sprinting, no backwards prone. Don't know what that is. Or you could lay it backwards and do it. Absolutely no explosion knock black.
Yeah. Well, we could rip this apart all day long, to be honest with you, but
No thermals.
That's
No thermals, mate.
well,
There's not one optic that has
it's
thermals in it.
COVID, isn't it, mate? It's friggin' all the technologies
Being used up.
struggling. Yeah, we're struggling
Okay.
for technology. So 2042, that's going to be the future. Yeah, we can rip this apart all day. So I think rather than
No boats.
yeah, let's
Boats.
let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Come on.
We'll move on. I feel for it. I'm a Battlefield fan and have been a Battlefield fan for a long, long time.
I
And I
actually
feel for
like
it.
this one.
No, I do like it because
Yeah.
I'm over the moon that they brought a Battlefield back that's in an era that makes sense to anyone in the real world.
Yeah.
But
Right.
hey ho.
Right. So the
Spend a lot
next
of time dissing games today, aren't we?
next game out is so it was a surprise release. It wasn't actually meant to be come out till December, and this is Halo Infinite. Right, I've not had a chance to get on this. I have played the beta. I tested it out. I've seen a lot of good reviews and a lot of people saying that it's possibly one of the best Halos yet. Some of the videos I've seen lately are looking really, really good. It's not without its issues again. But the main thing that people are kicking off about is this battle pass.
Right, okay. Explain to me because I've not heard much about that.
So the battle pass, I did have the prices, but I forgot, are fairly expensive.
Okay.
And people were basically ploughing through 9 hours of gameplay. So you get that as you level up, you unlock certain items and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then you can pay for one.
Yeah, so there's a pay for one where you get more. So people have bought this battle pass thing, but ranking putting 9 hours of gameplay into the game and then only reaching level 2 after 9 hours. And that's only level 2. So that's a very slow progression. Usually it gets slower as you get higher, not slow all the way through.
Ouch, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't, like 5 weeks or something to get from 49 to 50.
By that time it's probably finished. I think though the battle pass runs up until May or something like that. I think it's like a 6-month battle pass, so it probably warrants its cost. But the whole leveling up, you probably lost a lot of your player base well before 6 months time. So it doesn't make sense to kind of push that on. But hey, I just wanted to kind of mention that obviously that's a little secret release. I haven't had a chance to play because the amount of different games that have come out. So I want to jump on that. I know it's something that you possibly want to jump on.
No, I definitely want to jump on. I'll be trying it out on my PC. So
I want to add, which brings me on to a little segue. So I don't want to stay too much on Halo Infinite. A little segue into the next thing I want to discuss, but it's also been added to the cloud gaming. Now, that has also been a release this week. So anybody who's got an Xbox Series X or S, if you want to check, if you haven't already done so, if you've got an update on your console, because now if you update that today, you will now get Game Pass games in the cloud via your console. Now, I did put a little post on Facebook because I know some people are like, well, why do you want it on the console? But then it's like if like me and Mike play games, his downloads usually take a little bit longer. So it's that kind of, right, oh, Mike, there's this game. I mean, I told you about a game recently, didn't I? Just today. So if that was part of the Game Pass, it's like, Mike, go on, check this game out. And then he's like, oh, well, it'll take me so many hours to download or something like that. Instead, now we can just go on the cloud, try it out. If he likes it, he can download it. If it's something he might play every now and then, he can keep playing it via the cloud or just not bother at all. So that's a good thing. The other good thing is updates. And we all know that, again, sorry to pick on you, Mike, and your internet, but if you go on any game and you've got an update, if you don't have automatic updates on or whatever, you go to play a game, it comes up and says there's an update. Nothing more annoying than that, especially when it's something like, say, Call of Duty or something like that. Granted, that's not
it's quite
that's
big,
Game
and you've
Pass.
not got a lot of time to
So
play or
again,
something like that. The
launch
cloud version would be updated. So.
Launch it straight away. You're away playing again. And then it's just all these different games on the cloud where you just sometimes it's you'll see a game and you'll think I might like that, and I'm sure other people are in the same boat as me where you'll click download on it, you'll go off and play another game while that's downloading, you'll forget about it, you'll see it pop up and say it's downloaded, but at that point you're that kind of in deep with that game you're currently playing. You don't go back and play that because it's just downloaded. You think, I'll play that another day, and then you never do.
Yeah.
Whereas the cloud, straight in, straight away, no waiting, no hanging around. Let's do this. Let's get going.
Yeah, I think it's a nice to have. It's a bit like, they brought it out so other platforms you can play games and you can move them around and stuff. And it was a little bit like you were penalized for having an Xbox because you couldn't instantly play those games.
There's two massive points I was going to point out as well. So there's hard drive space is another one. So the Series X doesn't. I think it's only 500 gig, or it might be something like that.
So your general games that you play every now and again or whatever, you can play them on there. Yeah.
So you don't need to download that. You can save space there. And the other thing is obviously this is now an opening now for the older generation consoles. So the Xbox One X's. That if they now move this cloud, it's not on there yet, but if they move this cloud-based thing into there,
they are going to move it though.
Then that will allow
They're going to
an
move
opening.
it because they were talking about old school consoles being able to play new console games.
Well, that's it. It's gonna have an opening there for them to then join, the likes of myself who've got like the new series of consoles to be able to play together and not feel left
or even
behind.
play games that are next gen only.
Yeah, because they don't need the power of the Series X in order to play them. I mean, Jesus Christ,
they don't need any of the power.
You can play them on your phone.
It doesn't use the device. It just.
No, that's what I mean. It doesn't need the power. It doesn't need to utilize it because the power's taken up elsewhere. You're just streaming it in effect.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say you need a relatively good internet connection.
5 gigahertz. 5 gigahertz.
So you're talking about Wi-Fi, but you need a decent internet connection.
If you're playing on Wi-Fi, what I will say is if you're playing mobile phone and you find it's stuttering or anything like that, one of the key things to do is go into the settings of your router. There'll be a setting in there where it says 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, and what you can do is you can split those out. Now leave your 2.4 as it is. Don't rename it. Leave that there, so not all your devices don't.
All your stuff will change.
So all your stuff doesn't disconnect. Split out the 5 gigahertz one. Keep it the same password if you really want to, but then because it's split out, you can then have a constant connection to this 5 gigahertz network. Via your router, and that you'll find your games play a lot more smoother, basically.
Yeah, if you keep them together, generally speaking, it'll try and give you the faster one, so it'll probably try and give you 5. But if there's any reason or anything happens and there's a little dip or whatever, instead of it just dipping and coming back, it'll dip and try and move over to 2.4.
Yeah.
and then you get a big kind of shift in speed,
To
and
be
then it's
honest,
got to go back the way.
it does. It
It
never feels
doesn't
like it
work.
tries to flick back over once it's on 2.4. Tends
It
to try
maybe
and stay
doesn't.
connected.
It's a weird system. Joining them is really bad. Don't do that. My advice, I know it's a good advice, Craig. In all honesty, if you've got an Xbox or any game console,
Wire it up.
plug them in, mate. Honestly, get an Ethernet cable and plug it in. I don't care how far away it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
just do it. It's worth it. You can get lots of things that can make this easier now.
Great big
Um,
massive lead.
Yeah, but just wire things up. Wire things up is one thing. The reason why this works better is because even if you have a crappy router, you're plugged in, so your router doesn't really need to do much.
Just acts
It
as a
just
pass
it
through.
just connects. Yeah, it just has to pass through and connects. So it's not really doing a lot of lot of stuff. But on Wi-Fi can be very different depending on the device. If you want to Wi-Fi and you want to, do those sort of things and have a good 5G connection, then pay for it.
Yeah.
It's not expensive.
No.
You can buy good devices. I've put an access point in my house now, which does 2.5 and 5G. It does up to 600 megabyte or whatever, and it was like 60 quid or something. And I can now on 5G stream playing a VR game from my PC directly over wireless to my Oculus headset flawlessly.
It's cool.
So
Cool.
there's ways to do it, but
Talking about VR headsets, I've been on the
Craig's
market.
gonna buy one.
I've been on the market, keeping my eye out for them. Mainly, my missus wants to buy me one for Christmas, or has been looking to buy me one for Christmas. So
Imagine
um,
Forza. You can play it. I never actually looked. I wonder whether Forza Horizon is VR capable.
God
I know
knows.
normal Forza is.
I'll just be sat in here on Beat Saber all day long.
So you move your head around. Oh,
Yeah.
Beat Saber, man. It's hard. Once you the difference between hard and expert is like night and no. Yeah, hard and expert is like night and day.
Yeah, I think I had to
It's
go. Didn't I
ridiculous.
ever go on expert, or was it hard or something?
Hard. You played
Right.
hard.
But yeah, we're on the lookout for one. So hopefully Black Friday deals come in and we can pick one up there. Hopefully, if not,
Yeah,
it's still
there,
worth the price.
there is a thing with that. There is a lot of stuff with like Oculus Quest and stuff now. There's lots of games coming out. There's quite a unique thing that they do. You can buy any game and return it within 2 hours.
Right.
If you haven't played it, no, not return it within 2 hours. You can return it within 14 days if you haven't played more than 2 hours of it.
All right. Okay.
So you can basically test any game. That's why there's no demos. And it's literally a buy it and there's another button to return it. It's not it's not a big deal or a big hassle to return stuff. I've done it,
Right.
which is cool. And secondly to that, I might actually do a post on Facebook for this, but there's a separate site that makes third party indie style games and stuff that can be put onto your. You can't get them from the store online, but you can push them onto your thing. They're completely free games. It's not like anything shady or anything. They're just like games developed separately, third party, and then you can put them on the VR headset and play them.
I'll have to send that over.
Yeah, and it gives you quite a lot of. There's actually some good games on it as well, and considering they're pretty much free,
Yeah.
it's great.
So, just while we're on about VR, at the minute there's a game called VR Blast that's currently free to download.
Alright.
So VR Blast and another game called After the Fall.
Okay.
It's not currently out, but it's supposedly one of the most anticipated games on VR. That's
Nice.
currently got a pre-order, 10% off the pre-order, $26.99.
Is that a Oculus Quest 2 title?
Yes.
Right, so it's playable directly on the Quest as opposed to a PC or something.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
I'd seen those today. Um,
Nice.
Talking about discounts, I've noticed you put a note on here about discount. Obviously, I know you were going to talk about the Xbox ones. I did notice there is a lot of Black Friday Nintendo Switch games currently that's on at the moment as well.
Yeah, let's. I'll bring this one up, and we'll talk about EA Game Pass and stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
You might
Oh,
as well.
let me quickly jump in. Sorry, I'll just put in there. So with the release of Forza Horizon 5, we've got Halo Infinite, we've got Battlefield 2042, Age of Empires 4. We also have a new AAA title that has just been released today. Nerf Legends. I know.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I know we're going to move on, but what the fuck? Why would you release your game
Nerf Legends on the same
Nerf
day that Halo
Legends
gets.
that's going to cost £31.99, by the way, and that's discounted. That is discounted today, right? On its day of release, right? Right
Okay.
during the most, I don't know,
Anticipated game launches
for the
in
last
this
2
year.
years, for at least the last 2 years.
Yeah, last 2 years. Yeah.
But yeah, so it looks a little bit like Overwatch, but with Nerf guns. But yeah. And on that note, continue with your Xbox deals.
And Craig's bought
Have I shite?
it. Um.
I'd rather buy fucking
Yeah. No,
Pac-Man.
it was just news that Xbox are discounting over 600 games for Black Friday. It's actually 600 and counting. Is what it's talking about. But yeah, over the Black Friday period, which is actually the 19th of the 11th up until the 2nd of December, there's discounts ranging from 10% all the way up to 90% off certain titles. And this is like pretty new games. So even stuff like Far Cry 6 has been reduced, Riders Republic has been reduced, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy is cheaper. There's some of these titles are in dollars here, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, there's lots there. To be fair, some
Cool.
really good stuff to be had. Obviously PlayStation's doing something similar. It's got a lot of games off like that as well. So I think yeah, if you're looking for some decent Xbox titles and stuff like that that you're interested in,
Yeah,
then
I did have a
fire
look
on.
at I did have a look at a couple of them, but yeah, because a lot of them are part of Game Pass, it's hard
Well, I was
to.
just going to make a comment at that. Like, it's great that they're all been discounted, but at the end of the day, if it's been discounted and you can buy a couple of games and you're way to spend 60 quid, that's that's almost 6 months of Game Pass. So
Yeah.
worth thinking about. And that in that leads me on to buying EA Game Pass Pro. Now,
Change his name now.
EA Game Pass Pro, EA Play Pro. Right, that's it. Right, so I had to buy Battlefield. This is where this came about. Needed to get Battlefield. It's not on any of the things that we currently own, so I would have had to pay for it. And the country where we are, other countries may differ, but in the country where we are, it was $45.99 because we get a 10% discount for being part of Xbox and having EA included in Xbox Game Pass at the moment. So that being said, you get quite a lot of the catalog from EA Play. In the catalog listings, everything's listed with a white tag saying EA Play. You get that game part of Xbox Game Pass, and a few others. Anything in red is generally a Pro title, and you need to pay for Pro.
Yeah.
So my take on this was, and I'm kind of doing it as a little bit of an experiment to see what happens. But Battlefield was meant to be 45 quid. There was two of the games on there, which is one called FTL that I wanted to play, which was like 7 or 8 quid or whatever to buy. There's another one called We Are Billions, I think it's called. There's also stuff like the new FIFA, FIFA 22, Madden 22. There's a couple of games on there that I will definitely play. So do I think paying for it is justified? I think the fact that I was already going to pay for Battlefield, then yes, because it's currently $89.99 to pay for Game Pass Pro. It's not Game Pass, EA Play Pro. Wow, these names. For 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say, if I play 1 or 2 games, or at least 2 games, so if I played FIFA and Battlefield, then I could get my money's worth, but in a year's time, I'll still probably want to play Battlefield, and I won't have it, and all this kind of good stuff. But my theory on it is that I paid a little bit more money. I actually ended up getting Battlefield Ultimate Edition, not the Standard Edition, which is actually the same price as being for EA Play Pro. Is the same price as the actual edition cost. Yeah. And then I'm thinking that, in a year's time, if I'm not playing enough of those, or if they haven't brought any of the titles out, because they can play all the new titles that come out by EA over that period of time as well, on day release, which is great. That if by that point, if I don't want to keep that subscription, then I should be able to pick up Battlefield for relatively cheap. Well, not cheap, but cheaper.
But it makes sense, obviously, to kind of do it the way you did it. Will it be part of EA? It depends on I suppose if the player base drops off, then yeah, more than likely it will be. Like part of the Game Pass Ultimate.
That's the only thing. Yeah, it could move over to Game Pass.
Yeah.
And with the ratings and stuff and the way people are talking about it at the moment, they might have to do that just to get the player base back up.
Mm-hmm.
And if they go down that road, then as long as they don't do it tomorrow, which they can't do because we've all paid for the game, they would have to give us our money back.
Yeah.
Give it 6 months, they might do that, and then, in my opinion, I've quids in because I've managed to play other games for the same money. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Interesting one. Subscriptions are cool. Sometimes they're too expensive for certain things, but I think the gaming industry around subscriptions has actually got it quite right. To be fair.
Aye. Definitely seems the right way. Right. I'll let you bash about your games if you want. I know you've got a bee in your bonnet at the minute.
Yeah. I've got a title here from news story. Rockstar apologizes for GTA Trilogy being absolutely shocking of a release, and is bringing back the original games back. I'm not going to delve into Rockstar specifically, but I'm going to mention a few games right now that have been released, and they're all on different companies, different platforms, or currently even out, and they're just updates of shit. But it's general what's going on in the world, because we've just mentioned there Battlefield maybe not fully complete, not really working that well. You've got Rockstar, who are known for pretty good quality games, dropping the ball.
Yeah.
You've got the latest Call of Duty game that basically no one cares about, and doesn't have particularly good reviews either. It's reviewing okay, but no one wants to play it, which is weird. The hype's not there. And then you've got other stuff like
but it was that GTA, like about the old ones there.
the trilogy,
yeah. Like, but why do we want to go back? We've had this discussion before, haven't we? Of what's the point in going back?
I think they're just moneymakers. I think they're just moneymakers. I think people do like old. I think some people like these games, and I think that replaying them is nostalgic, and good for some people. But you're also releasing them at a time where everyone's releasing new games.
Right.
So play the new games. Why would you be playing an older game? Like, I get it if the franchise didn't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if say GTA stopped being made, and then they went into something else, and then they decided, oh, we're gonna bring GTA back. Like, I get it, yeah,
Yeah.
but you could. It's it's like they did it for Mafia, but that's like if they'd have gone back, if they Mafia 1 came out and it was ages before Mafia 2 came out. If they'd have gone back and revamped Mafia 1, you could have understood it because it would have been new graphics and all cool and redone, and
Yeah.
that's what the decision was. But they didn't. They made 2, and then they made 3, and then very quickly after that, they remastered all 3 of them. I think that I can't put my finger on it, but it's got to be just money.
Well, San Andreas is on Game Pass, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
Because I flicked that on. That was one of the games I tested on the cloud for console.
but they've broke it. Like
Yeah, there's
they've took games that currently work.
Yeah, I've seen some issues where like literally people
And
saying if you rock your car, like you rock your car side to side, it starts increasing in size, and then it's like you
yeah,
can get it to the point where your car's bigger than the lanes and the wheels are like cutting
honestly,
through
there's
stuff.
stuff that can't be going through quality checks, right?
So
That's just insane from a game developer point. Insane, right? You've got stuff like um, Blizzard and World of Warcraft falling apart because they can't make any game content that's actually any good for anyone anymore. You got New World released by Amazon. Okay, they're making up for it now by repairing a lot of stuff
yeah,
and putting fixes out really quickly. But they've got literally game-breaking mechanics and issues in there that is just bad, um, and not taking the time to kind of do them. You had Pro Evolution Soccer have a name change and then get released as an absolute pile of garbage.
yeah.
Like unbelievably bad. Um, it's like if just one of these titles
Well, I've
spent the time and put the effort in and produced a good game, everyone would play that game because simply every other game is shit.
I've heard that there's been issues surrounding GTA. So what they've done is they took the game that was pre-built and they've had to strip stuff out of it due for legal reasons. Now, I don't know if you know when when you're making macros and stuff like that. Do you know if you press basically you comment you I can't what you call them the
Apostrophe.
the two
Quotation marks.
yeah, like the quotation marks. If you put them in
Yeah.
into a code in or an apostrophe, sometimes what it does is it puts that as a comment, so it doesn't run that piece of script, that piece of code.
Oh, when you comment out.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what people have done is people have delved into the background of the code for GTA, and what they found is instead of the creators actually taking this bit of code out because they're not allowed
Just
to use
commenting
it
it
for
out.
legal reasons, they've put it as a comment to stop it running. But what they've done is they've stopped that piece of code from running, but not looked at the effect that it also had on the game, because obviously it probably included something else that needed to run.
But this is the thing. This is the thing about anything, right? You you just say for games design, right? You've got a game, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna make this game, and then you're gonna release it at this date, right? And you're gonna spend all this time getting it to this point, and then release it. And you find out that like things aren't quite working, it's buggy, and there's issues, right? If you wait, if you take a bit of time to fix it now,
Yeah,
yeah, before release, it will
but
take
we're
less
talking.
time to do it now.
You're talking about a game that was already released.
No, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna get to that.
but you know as well as I do, when you're building something, you might do something, put a piece of code in and test that little section out, and you go, it works. These people are probably going, well, this game's already built. I'm going to tweak this a little bit, quickly test that little bit. You know what I've done? Yeah, it looks fine. It's a game that's already ran before. They probably
But that's the
never, they
thing.
probably didn't test it all.
No, but this is the thing, right? You are trying to. If you try and fix anything after the fact, it takes more time and costs you more money because it's more difficult to do it then.
Yeah,
because it already is written. If you have a bit of code that's written and it does a specific job, and then later on someone goes, you need to fix that, you have to go find that bit of code, you have to find out what that bit of code does, what it's linked to, how it affects the game, and make sure that it doesn't break anything by either removing it or altering it. That takes more time to physically reverse engineer than it does to just get it right the first time.
Yeah.
Right
No,
now,
I
I get
know.
it if you've missed stuff in like a new build, and sometimes you can do that. Games development is difficult and complex. It's not all in one person's head. It's multiple people, and there's chances that this could happen. That's why we have beta testing and testers and all this kind of good stuff. But going back to remake a game that they didn't really remake, they just took shit out that they shouldn't have had in it for whatever reason, and just I genuinely, they've launched them to make money, and it's probably cost them more money to do it in the first place.
It probably launched it to make a bit of money, but at the same time, it's I think it was being asked for, but um, like uh, you've got to look at it in the sense that it's a game pre-built. There are no any little issues or anything with it are already there. So I honestly do not think they've tested it. I don't think they've tested it at all. Just maybe tested it
No,
very briefly and gone, yeah, it runs, it's fine. That's it, done. Give it. There you
I
go.
don't. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they're spending the time doing it. I think we are turning into a bunch of um. We're basically paying to be beta testers for every game that's launched.
Yeah.
I mean, some games companies, and I don't agree with this either, but some games companies and some games that get released have the um at least have the cojones to release a game and say that it's a game
Cojones.
preview, right? But even that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah? Just like it. I think you've just got a title there. Haven't you?
Yeah.
um, but you know what I mean? Like if you're a relatively new developer, right, and you've got a new game coming out, and you've managed to raise a bit of funds over it, and you're going to change it and adapt it as you're going, and you go, right, I'm going to release it, but I'm going to release it as a test game, under game preview, for people to look at and then play it and give me feedback, and I'll develop it, right? That kind of get that. I get that approach, right? But when you're a multi-mega billion-pound companies and they're releasing games under either a banner of a game preview or not having the balls to tell you that it is,
The
and then
thing
you've got to
is,
pay for the privilege to do it yourself.
they're a multi-billion-pound company who've just released a game that was out fucking 20 years ago or something now, or probably
Yeah,
less.
so
And
I tell you what,
and
stop
and
revamping. Go
no,
on.
and right, they've released this game. People have bought it, right, and they're rubbing their hands together, going, "Suckers."
But but this is the problem. This
It's
is the
not going.
problem with
It's
all
not
of
going
this
to
stuff.
affect them. It's not going to affect
No,
them
no, but
one
this
bit.
is the problem
They're
with
not going to
all of
lose a
this
player
stuff, isn't
base.
it? They're not going to lose the player base, right?
No.
So they've done it. They've done it at minimum cost. People have paid money for it, so they'll have got their money back, no problem whatsoever. Some people will be generally happy. They'll take some of the money from the sales of it and spend that on just developing it a little bit to make it a little bit better, right? And then they'll probably whap in some kind of store where you can buy some skins and crap because people want to pay money for all that shite as well.
Fucking whapping.
No, but
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah.
they should take some money. They should build a game. They should make sure it works. They should give it to people. People pay some money for it, and then we enjoy the game.
They
And
should
then
make
after
some
that,
money.
leave it alone.
Give me
Right?
some money, and then
Take that money
give it to
that I
me.
give you. No, no. Take that money that I give you, the 50 quid or whatever you want for your game, right?
Yeah.
Take that money, right? Make sure it's a little bit more than it cost you to make the game, and then take half of that, or a little bit more than that, and put it back into game development so you can make a new game and keep updating the game that I'm currently playing until the next one comes out.
Yeah.
Don't expect all of us to just keep paying money. And the worst thing about it, currently at the minute, the worst thing about all of this stuff is companies like Blizzard and that are just genuinely doing that. They're just pushing stuff out. I'll give you this, the latest one, right? 9.2 patch for WoW. They've brought back this thing about classes having their own gear sets, right? The gear set for your character that you have to grind for and get is completely shit compared to the £20 one you can pay for on the store. So they had a developer. He went, "Oh, I've made this one. I've made this little costume for this guy. It's amazing, and I've made this costume for this guy. It's not as good, right? What do you want to do? Well, I'll put that one in the game that they already pay for because it's shit, and they'll have to grind for it, and they won't want that one, and then we'll put the one that they will want behind a paywall."
Well, that's just good thinking, though, isn't it? Really, that's just money
It's
making.
good. It's good thinking for all the
Business.
people. It's good to be money making, but it comes fundamentally down to exploiting people.
It does, but it's a business, and you've got
No,
fucking
it's
idiots out
not.
there. It's
It's
in
not
business.
good business. It's not good business. It's
It
bad
is.
business.
It's
It's
good
unloyal
business
business.
because
It's
fucking
corporate business.
idiots who want to pay money because they want a fucking guy, a virtual guy that they're never gonna fucking see, never gonna meet. They don't actually get anything. They want him to wear some fucking flashy red fucking wabs, right? Rather
Mhm,
than these little shitty ones he's got on.
mhm.
What the fuck's that shit about? Why? Why?
Because they're pulling at people. They're just pulling at people where they know they can pull at
Fucking
people.
idiots. That's what it is. People who
I
pay that
get
money, I
that.
think, are idiots. So
I get that, and there's plenty of people out there that pay for stuff that they shouldn't pay for, and you could go down this road with loads of stuff like credit cards and all this kind of stuff that people are just out to get money, and I get it, right? But companies could be better.
yeah.
You can make
Well,
money in good ways, not bad ways. Like, I'm not even saying that they had to do anything specifically different there, apart from if they'd have made the one in game also good, then you would have had what's called choice, right? If you want this one, you can have this one, but
okay, now.
you'll pay for that one.
Right, Mike. I think you need to. You go and change your fucking tampon, and we'll.
Uh, we'll not go there.
Very,
But
very, very angry boy today, as far looks of it. No, yeah,
I'm not an
yeah,
angry boy. I
no,
just think there's lots of
yeah,
there's lots of points of this, and I just think it's
yeah. We could
crap.
again another thing. We're very bashing games today, but it could be a very, we could go on all day with it. So
Oh, but gamers are loyal, mate. That's all.
I
And
know.
treat
Talk
them
about gamers.
nicely.
Come on, let's move on. Gamers. What have you been playing? Come on, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I played a game called FTL Fast and Light because it's not broken, so it's a good reason to play that game. Um, Old school space simulator, not space simulator game, but it's rogue kind of style-esque game where you control a spaceship for 2D platform, like it's a 2D view of the spaceship, and you've got like all the different rooms of the spaceship, and you come across different encounters while you're being chased.
Yeah,
It's quite strategic. You can pause the game and kind of give commands while it's paused. You have to kind of manage everything that you've got and manage the attacks that happen to you and deal with different situations and stuff like that. It's quite good. It's pretty cheap of a game, but I think it's got a long player life in it. I got it part of EA Play Pass Game Pro, whatever it's called.
I'm gonna fucking punch you.
It's not called that. Um, uh, I got a part. Yeah, I got a part of that, but you can pick it up on Steam and other things as well. But yeah, check that out. That's pretty good. If you like Star Trek, it's like
Oh, fucking
quids
not
in,
again. Jesus Christ.
quids in,
We're losing
quids
people
in.
again. Losing
Mate,
people.
mate, some people like that stuff, and that's okay. I have a geek T-shirt on. It's cool to be geek. Play Battlefield, of course. It's good. Yeah, core mechanics of it are good, and it's Battlefield. I'll
Yeah.
always play it no
I
matter
want
what
to say
happens.
though, we had the best game of Battlefield ever, 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 when we actually lost it though, but
Oh
we
yeah,
lost it
yeah, yeah.
by two.
The main conquest.
We
We lost the main conquest by 2. Yeah,
two deaths basically, wasn't it?
2 deaths. Yeah, it was really close, that one. Yeah.
Or like 600 deaths or
Um,
whatever it is, or 700 deaths.
yeah, I've been playing more of Forza Horizon 5. Great game. Guess
Brilliant
what?
game.
Guess what, Craig? Guess what?
What?
It's not broken.
Keep going.
And
Oh,
what broke the history records in new release games this year?
that had 10 million.
Forza,
10 million, yeah, had 10 million player base or something like that now, I think.
right? Non-broken game broke the
Fun,
records.
very, very fun game. A lot to do in it though, isn't it? It's,
Great game. Very well made. Very well established. Know what they're doing. Didn't really change
fucking
everything.
carry
Just
on.
made it better.
Fucking hell.
Fantastic. Keep it up, Forza. You know what you're doing. And then yeah, I've been Beat Sabering it up
Fucking hell. Yeah.
as well.
So I'm going to move on very quickly. So I've been playing Forza Horizon 5 as well. Battlefield
Yeah.
2042.
You won in the middle there. You're not allowed to say that.
I'm saying that one. FIFA 22.
No, you're not allowed to say that.
FIFA
No, not that
22.
one.
I've
You
been
can say that.
playing. Hang on, let me finish. I've been playing FIFA 22. I had a good game with your brother when he came over, and your brother doesn't play computer games, and he beat me, so I turned it off. So that annoyed me a little bit.
Were you trying to be fancy?
Yeah, I was trying to shoot from like 30 odd yards out.
Yeah,
or stuff.
there you go.
I hit the crossbar twice.
Craig doesn't underestimate people in games, but he kind of does, and then
I was
stupidly
messing on
people.
and taking the piss for ages, and then he scored, and then I think I was like, shit, I need to score here because it's like he scored in like the 70th minute or some shit. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Well, at least you made.
Scored.
Look.
All
People have to. Go on then.
I scored in the 91st minute to take it through to extra time, but then he scored in extra time and beat me.
All I was going to say is people have to do their bit for charity.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've done your bit for charity now.
I did, yeah. I made him feel good about himself.
You made him feel good about himself. He's a kind of special lad.
Yeah.
He needs that. It's all good.
Nice pat on the back as he left my house.
Hey, look, he'll go away. You might have just sold FIFA to someone because of that.
Listen, you're just delaying the inevitable here. You just don't want me to say that I've been playing Immortals Fenyx Rising. Now, I've completed the game.
You've talked about that game so much that I don't want to turn it on.
Brilliant game. I've moved on to the DLC now, right? But the first piece of DLC that I've started playing, it's not as long, right? The first piece of DLC that I played, I am not enjoying. It's a fucking grind. It's just a load of dungeons and like trials and stuff, and it's like,
I have a very serious question about it though.
Go on.
Is it broken?
You'll be fucking broken in a minute. No, it's not broken.
Is it behind the paywall?
No, right. Move on.
Did you get the DLC for free?
No, I paid for the DLC.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah.
But it's like the season pass thing, like season DLC thing, so I got all of them. Like 3 DLCs, I think for like 24 quid or something.
Yeah.
Worth it though, worth it.
Maybe.
Right.
How much did you pay for the original game?
Probably about the same. One of the DLCs is like a whole new game.
That's why they make DLCs, because it's cheaper.
It's like a whole new game in itself. One of the DLCs, which I'm going to leave till last.
Wait, and you're getting 4? So basically now we have to put up with the fact that Immortals Fenyx Rising is going to be on that list of games you've played.
For the next year at least.
Couple of years, yeah.
Mate, I'm plowing through it, don't you worry, it'll be done within a couple of weeks that now. Right, come on. Let's move on. Right, we're on to our quiz. I'm winning.
Not after tonight.
Right. I'll give you yours first, so I'm going to throw my question to you first, right?
Alright.
Yeah. Now,
how many games are broken this year? Gone, right?
Going back to Nerf, just because I like giving you questions on things we talked about during the thing. So,
I don't.
so obviously Nerf, as we know, is a massive company, generates a lot of revenue every year. Every year. Now, what I want to ask you is approximately how much annual revenue under the Nerf brand, like basically how much is the revenue under the Nerf brand per year? Is it $300 million, $400 million, or $500 million?
I'm gonna go $500 million because Nerf's like ridiculous franchise.
It is, but it's not that ridiculous.
400?
It was 400.
Yeah. Each their own.
Yeah, it
Oh
was.
well.
Unfortunately, it was a bit of a hard question because it was kind of a guess more than anything. So
Yeah.
I just like chatting
Right.
about stuff
Your
to
one.
chat about. So yeah.
How many different shapes of 4 connected blocks are there in the game Tetris?
How many
Is it?
got it?
How many
Hang on,
different shapes of the 4 connected blocks?
of the
So I'll give you a hint.
four.
The line is 4.
Yeah,
That's 1. Are there in Tetris? Is it 6, 7, or 8?
6, 7, or 8. Jesus Christ, I only got up to 4. Talk amongst yourselves.
Actually, given one he could potentially figure out, but it's unlikely.
Oh my god. Is this including rotations as well? Or is it just actual shapes?
Yeah, it's just shapes.
I can only think of 4.
Can't be rotations. Because
No,
you'd
it
have
wouldn't
4.
be.
You'd have
Yeah,
4 in every
yeah.
one of them.
Oh, that's annoying. And I used to play Tetris a fair bit. I've drawn the shapes on a piece of paper in front of me, but I can only get 4 shapes. I actually get 5. There's another one that I'm thinking of, but
I can get 5,
yeah, I can get 5 different shapes.
but
So
I can't tell
on
you
that
what all 7 are.
on that note, what all 7 are? There's 7 of them, is there? I'm gonna say 7. I wanted to say 6, but I'm gonna say 7 now. I can take the piss. I'm waiting for you to come out with it and go. I'm gonna say 7. I thought there was 6, but I'm gonna say 7. Is it
What a
7?
bluff. What a bluff.
What is it?
6.
I'm gonna fucking say 6 as well. You can't do shit like that, you bastard. I fucking remember that. You fucking bastard. I was gonna go 6 as well.
Well, good job you went 7, because the right answer is 7.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it? Did you just totally fuck up there, did you?
Absolutely, yeah. I just was saying it while I'm talking.
I still don't know what the 7 are.
Neither do I. I can't even tell you what they are.
I can only draw 4. Right. Oh, that's 5-3 to me then. Jesus.
Well, I
Right.
can't give you that one. You'd have got it wrong.
I'm fucking taking it. It's your own
You'd have
daft
got
ass
it
fault.
wrong, man.
It's your own daft ass fault.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Quiz is broken, just like everything else.
On that note, I'm sick of listening to Michael fucking bashing about fucking games. Michael's probably sick of me talking about Immortals Fenyx Rising. And I'm gonna go and find out. I'm gonna go and find the
we have a
7
podcast
shapes.
to talk about it on.
I'm gonna go and find the 7 shapes of Tetris. That's what I'm gonna do after this. Hi, yep. So you've been listening to myself, Craig, aka Z Crisis 2, all social media, Xbox Live. Add my gamer tag on Xbox Live. I've noticed a few more people adding me on there lately, so I've started adding people back just to see what the crack is, what people are playing. I've also set up a new group page off the Facebook page, where we can set up events, but it's mainly at the minute it's just for Xbox only at the moment. But as we see fit and get, obviously Mike pulls his finger out with VR, possibly we could set up a VR one. If we were to take anyone on, if anyone wants to join us on the podcast that deals with PlayStation, they're more than welcome to. We're a very open gaming podcast. We do not warrant toxicity, I suppose is the word. You know, we if I had the money for a PlayStation, I'd get one. It's not that I wouldn't play them or anything like that. So
No, and that sort of stuff, right? Come and tell us, like, okay, we have Xbox, I have PC more, like, I play more PC stuff than Craig does. You know, he plays probably more stuff on the Nintendo than I do. We both play a bit of phone stuff. I play more VR at the moment than, you know, Craig does as well. We don't have a PlayStation. If someone dropped one off my doorstep, I would play on it. It's not a thing. It's just that, you know, to move all your games over a PlayStation console that you've got on PC,
we'll put Michael's address in at the end of the show just so you can drop one off on his
fire
doorstep.
one over. Yeah, no worries. I'll give it a go. But you know, but then the thing is come and tell us why. Like, tell us what you like about PlayStation and stuff like that. You know, if it's positivity and you want to talk about the reasons why it's a good idea to have it, yeah, then fine. You know, we're not here to diss other people and what other people have got.
Come on the podcast with us. To be honest with you, I'm quite open to having another one or two people on here. I think it would be good to have different opinions other than just us two. It'll help fill you know the void that we're missing as well. So I think we're very open to other people joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we wouldn't have time to talk about Immortals, Fenyx, Horizon, so it'd be good.
Oh, we still have time. I'd make sure. But one of the criteria is you must have played on Immortals, Fenyx, Horizon on either PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo Switch.
Just lie.
I think it's even on Stadia as well. So any platform as long as you've played that, you're welcome. You're here. You can come in.
If you've played it on Stadia, you can come and talk to us.
We'll have a full episode, basically Immortals, Fenyx, Horizon.
All right. Well, sounds like other people are hosting it that night.
Yeah. So yeah, Dead Crisis 2. Give us an ad. Messages. Yep. Mike, if you want to.
Yeah, I'm Mike. You can find me on social media and Xbox as IronMike2. I am going to, before I go, have we got enough time for me to say something?
You're always talking. As long as it's not fucking bashing something else.
No, I was just waiting to say that I know all of the Tetris shapes.
Oh, he's got them.
And it
share your screen. Share your screen.
Can I share my screen on your thing? Or will it...
Yeah, you can share your screen. Go for it.
Or will it go mental?
Share your screen. Obviously, for listeners, this is not going to be very good listening, but
no.
When he works out how to do it.
Let me find the button. I popped you out in the window, and now.
Oh, it's popped me out.
There we go.
Oh.
Screens. This one.
I could do some little sound effects so we can do like.
There we go.
Hang on.
Right. Spells this.
Ah, yes.
Tetromino. It's a mathematical puzzle, but basically you have an I, an O, a T, an S, a Z, a J, and an L.
Right. Yeah.
And that gives you your 7. No, I didn't make it up. I didn't lie to you or anything.
See,
I'm truthful.
I got the 4 along the top and the 1 in the middle at the bottom. It was those. I knew those shapes, the to bottom left and bottom right. Yeah. I knew those 2, but I thought there were 3s. For some reason, I didn't have the little flick on the end.
I actually had the straight, the square, and the bottom 3 there.
Right.
I didn't have these 2. I forgot about the fact there was L's.
Yeah. Oh well.
Good question though.
It was.
Even though I gave you the answer, I mean it was a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Mike, what are you doing there?
Stopping streaming. There we go.
Right, yeah. So get yourselves on. We keep saying we're going to organise play dates. We've got plenty of games now. Halo, Forza, Battlefield. You know, there's definitely some opening there for some games. So, yeah. I'm game if you are.
Yep.
Right. So, yeah. You've been listening to HCG. Thank you for listening. Take care, and hopefully we'll speak to you next week.
Yeah. See you next time, guys. Cheers. Yeah. Bye.